All right, good morning and welcome to Commissioners Court, October 7th. We have a full quorum present. Carrie, certified meeting was properly posted.
Yes, sir.
If you'll please rise for prayer and pledges.
God, we humbly bow before you this morning, thanking you for your presence in this courtroom. Father, may you guide these gentlemen in the direction that you want them to go, that your will is done in this court. Father, the Bible verse that I have this morning is found in Proverbs 19:21 in the King James Version. It says, "There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand." In other words, Father, we plan all kinds of things and we have ideas in our own head, but may we remember that it's you that's leading us and it's you that's guiding us and that your will be done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, God, one indivisible.
I didn't receive any citizens' input. Do we have any? Consent agenda contains 18 items.
Poll number 12 and number
And 5.
Well, then.
12, 13, and 5.
And I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, removing 5, 12, and 13.
William Singleton, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Number 5, approve claims and invoices.
Patricia, on page 9 of 36, Tyler Technologies, that $205,391.55. What is that for?
That's the annual payment for the court system, the court sheriff system, one that the VA uses sort of countywide court system, records. Software.
And I guess because they're kind of a sole source, we stuck with this.
Well, there's other companies that do this, but this is the one the county selected several years back. So
Okay.
It seems to best meet the needs of the courts as they see it.
You want to say something, Quentin? I can see it in your eyes. Okay, I'm good. Danny may have some questions.
Yeah, while you're right there close, Mr. Tricia, up at the top of the page on page 9, it's under the jail. I don't know if there's Davila back there.
He's back there.
Hey, John, this, it's like $6,500. It looks like y'all done some work on the sprinkler heads.
That's I believe the FDC connection.
Yeah.
When
Is that the heads on them, on the sprinkler
yes,
system?
on the outside.
Yeah.
But when they fire department, not the fire department, the company that does the inspections came, they put it under pressure and it cracked. And that's what the cost was to replace it.
Okay. So this is the actual one on the outside of the building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I had one other question back here. Page 16, I don't think it's under government project, Ms. Patricia. It's resource security for $5,500 on page 16.
So that one's gonna be the, if I'm not mistaken, the JP4 alarm system, correct?
Most likely.
Okay, well, I saw it in here and then it may have just been, it was on a different page. I did see it somewhere in there.
Let me get some more information. I answer that.
So, and on the
That was
state,
the camera system that.
Is that what that one is? Okay. All right.
It was
Yeah.
where, Larry?
OEM.
OEM? Okay.
I seen what you were talking about. I'll go in.
so the Siemens Industry right there under that $800 service security agreement. Where is that? And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because we've terminated the one that for the RV4. I don't want to get paid accidentally.
This is Dan.
I'll confirm which bill.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
That 800 Siemens, that is for the software assurance for the courthouse camera system. there was a bug in the system where when we updated the firmware to a camera, it made an issue. So we had to pay to upgrade that software.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Then one other question on page 19, Cheryl, there was some $2 nitpicky stuff, but it's $2. What are these title? I've never seen this.
Lost
before.
titles, Miss Cheryl? Possibly, application for title?
Not title, stickers. Registration stickers.
Not what it said though.
This
Oh, it-
certified copy of title.
I can't
It's
remember.
got, I think 5,000 numbers here.
Okay, those are, so we have those vehicles for auction.
Yes, ma'am.
We could not find the folders for
Ah.
these. They were before our time.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have asked for a duplicate title for those, so we can sell these, vehicles in the auction.
Very good. I figured that's what it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. Okay. That's all I had, Judge. So, anybody else?
Let me make a motion to approve claims.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Number 12, approved proclamation 2025-02, recognizing October 6th through 12th, 2024 as National 4-H Week in Walker County. And we got a group of kids.
Yes.
Representative. Either way, I had to get you on camera for a second.
There you go.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Whereas this Admiral program, which seeks to provide a learning experience for all youth through their head, heart, hands, and health, help young Texans to acquire knowledge, develop life skills, and form attitudes to enable them to become self-directed, productive, and contributing members of our society. And
whereas the program is more than 550,000 urban, suburban, and rural youth participants ranging in age from 8 to 18 comes from diverse ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds and truly represent cross-section of the state. And
whereas the program undoubtedly could not have achieved this success that it has today, were it not for the service of more than 30,000 volunteers, where have given generously of their time, talents, energies, and resources of youth to Texas. And
whereas throughout its proud history, the 4-H program has developed positive role models for countless Texans through the innovative and inspiring programs and continues to build character and instills the values that have made our state strong.
now therefore be it resolved, the Walker County Commissioners Court hereby designates October 6th through the 12th, 2024 as National 4-H Week in Texas, and commend the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Services and the many men and women who have made this program a success.
Y'all looked out, didn't you? Great job. We're proud of y'all.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, we done do our job.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve proclamation 2025-02.
I'll second that.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
All right, we get a picture. Now you can turn around. Come back here.
They'll just come behind you.
We're gonna come behind us.
Yeah.
Very studious.
See who's behind me. Checking y'all out.
There we go.
Looks like you. That it? Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Carrie.
Ms. Riley. Ms.
Mary
Riley.
Jo. Alright. Number 13, approved proclamation 2025-03 recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Judge, I'd like to read this proclamation. All right.
Yep.
There you go. Proclamation Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse of children and the elderly. And whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group or groups of people, but cut across all economic, racial, societal barriers, and are supported by societal indifferences. And whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole, here in this community, throughout the United States and the world. And whereas survivors of domestic violence themselves have been at the forefront of efforts to bring peace and equality to the home, now therefore, in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs such as Safe House, I do hereby proclaim of October to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and urge all citizens to actively participate in scheduled activities and programs to work towards eradicating domestic violence, improving victim safety, and holding perpetrators of domestic abuse accountable for their actions against individual victims and our society as a whole. We have our Executive Director of Safe House here, and Tammy Marcus, our outreach person. They want to come on up here and we'll sign this. Then we'll get a picture with y'all.
Approve it first.
That'd probably be a good idea. I make the motion to approve agenda item number 13 as presented.
Second.
Move second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carried. Okay, go ahead.
Are y'all decorating our courthouse square? Have we already done that or?
Purple ribbons around.
All right.
It goes every which way.
Hey, it is what it is.
Don't want to come up here in the front or behind? Behind? All right.
That one worked pretty good.
Hey, Rob.
Three, two.
All right. Appreciate what y'all do. Thank you very much.
See ya.
On to number 19, discuss and take action on adding an additional employee to the jail medical correction unit. Good.
This position, it's a new position, but it's not adding personnel. We're going to take a jailer who is also an EMT, put her over in the medical department. And the reason being, we had a nurse resign in August. We thought we had it filled at the 1st of September, but then she just quit contacting us, and there we sit. And Ms. Chapa, the current nurse, she's was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And she just told me she needed.
Right.
So you don't need a position. You got a position you're moving, right?
Just moving it over.
So, I mean, do you need any money with it, or basically you got the money to go along with the position you're moving?
Yes, we got the money.
Oh, it's a lot easier to do.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to tell you no.
Ms. Chapa's done a sterling job working with us on this. And I contacted the Texas Jail Commission. They said it's perfectly fine for a jail employee to hand out medications. That's one of our biggest worries. And I think it would make her stay a little longer also.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I totally know. I
7
mean,
days
it's,
a week gets old.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're still hunting for a nurse.
Okay.
Well, so what are you gonna do at that point then? I mean, you're taking
Yes, we're either gonna move her back, or if we could get some money, we'll boost it up. But we have medical aid position that never has been filled.
Okay.
And, the nurses use that money now for overtime. So I'm sure they're gonna be swapping around.
So I guess what are you asking us to do? It says additional employee, that word didn't really work. So you're wanting to move
Title
a
change.
position, right?
Yes, sir.
If I understood you right.
And I didn't ask, I don't think I asked for an additional.
That's what the backup said. I mean, adding an additional employee to the jail. You know, that would have been a no, right?
Yes, sir. No, it's not an additional employee. She's just gonna move over and help Miss Chopper.
So we'd be, what,
Solid.
Miss Allen?
adding,
To be clear, from a budget transfer, is this a permanent or a temporary while you continue to hunt for a nurse?
It could be permanent, I'm not sure. The last nurse
Title
that we hired, they said it took 2 years to find her. So I don't think it's gonna be an easy choice.
So a temporary assignment, and temporary may be a long time.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. That's a good way to put it.
To be paid for budget.
All right, well, how we gonna make a motion on this?
I think I'd say something like, authorize the jail to fill the position of medical correction officer on a temporary basis with a existing jail employee. And then with something, when you get another plan together, you come back and do something permanent with us.
It may not be a jail employee, though. It might be somebody hired from the outside, right?
No, this will be a jail employee because she's
So you're
already.
moving an employee over there.
Yes, sir. She's
Yeah.
already working in the jail. She's a corporal and a EMT.
Okay.
So that's my motion.
Second. Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Bob. 20, discuss and take action on interlocal agreement with Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts in Walker County. Good morning.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
I am Jack Choate with the Special Prosecution Unit, asking your approval this morning to accept the resolution for local agreement, Comptroller's Office and Walker County. What I do every year, I come and ask you to accept $1.5 million. It's a lot nicer than going to Austin and asking the legislature to give us $1.5 million. So this is, since 1984, SPU started out on a grant from the governor's office. That's the grant that we're looking at. It's been around our time. It's one of our sources of funding. So I was preparing for our legislative budget request. I realized this is our 40th anniversary, actually. So that's awesome receiving this grant. So the terms and conditions are the same as what they are every year. And of course, happy to answer any questions about that.
I know you used to sit where Quentin sits, but I gotta ask him. You okay, Quentin?
That's the key.
If Quentin's okay, I'm okay, Jack.
That's a good question.
I don't have any questions.
I want to make the motion to approve agenda item 20 as presented.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
Sure.
21,
Thanks, Jack.
discuss and take action on resolution 2025-06, grant number 14918-24, prosecution of prison crime, special prosecution unit.
This is in fact a grant resolution from the governor's office, and to clear it up a little bit, why it's going through the comptroller's office. That's how it's always, the governor actually issues it to the comptroller or a grantee. Comptroller's office.
Sounds good.
I'll second it.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion
Easy enough,
carries.
Jack.
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
All right. 22, update on freezer room remodel.
Can't be here this morning on the first two, so. ask-
Yeah, Stacy can't be here.
You want to push it to the next court? All three?
Let's get an update on the fire alarm. I kind of want to know what that is anyway, so.
All right, we're gonna skip 22, 23, go to number 24, discuss fire alarm installation.
Larry, you got any updates at all on where we at with the fire alarm or?
She is, Stacy has, the first part of her remodel done as far as the freezer room. And done for a while. So the new dimensions and use for that room is done, but she wants to do some more stuff to the laundry area and the restroom area in the back. And we don't know what the dimensions of the spaces are gonna be until that's done, or we see some plans. We haven't seen any plans and it hasn't started. Therefore, it's hard to price a fire alarm system because sensors are rated for square footage. That, so we don't know where we can go with the fire alarm other than to say that we're waiting for them to finish their remodel.
So once the remodel,
And start
yeah.
that project.
Okay, so the remodel needs to be done, basically. Okay.
Yes.
Right. That's all I need.
Anybody else? All right, 25. Thank you, Larry. Discuss and take action on the criminal district attorney's chapter 59 annual report.
So we're required to submit concerning our asset forfeiture cases, other departments, most of the work on this, I've heard about active cases. As a brief summary, we started the year with 6 active cases. We finished with 2 active cases. The case is basically where we allege that some property was contraband under the limitations of chapter 59. We conducted a civil lawsuit. Basically what it is.
All right.
Sounds good.
Make a motion to accept the criminal district attorney's chapter 59 annual report.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 26, update on current lawsuits involving county. Executive session 551.07. As everybody needs to clear the floor.
Thank you.
All right, we're back at 9:37 from executive session. We received update from the DA's office. Move on to 27, discuss and take action on emergency plumbing repair at Harts Museum.
Arts Museum has a water heater that sits above the public restrooms in the public lobby, and it had rotted out. I went over there to try to give them some assistance and just shut it down for them. But the main valve disintegrated in my hand when I tried to turn it, so I couldn't isolate it. And I went ahead and called Affordable Plumbing to come over and put a new water heater in. Replace the valve as well.
What else did it mess up there? Sheet rock or anything?
We got it early. It didn't, it was about to. Yes, sir. The overflow drains and everything were operating like they should, but I just didn't feel good chancing it, waiting for them to have approval for anything.
All right. I guess you need a motion to pay the bill, right?
Yes, sir, please.
Like a motion to approve.
Move and second, all in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Motion carries. 28, discuss and take action on the purchase of the 2012. I think that's supposed to be Ford F-450 bucket truck for $30,000.
Morning, guys. Y'all had to give permission to take 40,000 and go get a bucket truck and we got a anonymous tip and found one. It was listed for 32, I think, somewhere along in there. Anyway, we ended up talking them down to 30. And so I'm here to ask approval.
Have we even looked at the truck? Larry, you gone and drove it?
Yes, sir. It's in great shape.
Okay. I mean, you checked everything that you know to check on them.
Yes, sir. The aerials are like new.
Current inspection's done, right?
It was done in August this year.
I make the motion to approve agenda item 28 as presented. Second.
Move and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Project contingency.
Yeah, from project contingency. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember, I think you were gone when we done this before.
We just said wherever you tell us to pull it from.
I think, was it? Okay, well,
That's exactly what we said.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 29, discuss and take action on the purchase of a Icon copier for voter registration in the amount of $3,866.50.
Voters of registration had asked for a new copier, and so they had contacted Rico and they had provided them a quote. It is a Bible contract, so it didn't really meet the threshold of solicitation or anything.
And it's coming out of the copier fund, I would assume.
You still got money in there, Patricia?
Yes.
That's my motion.
That's your motion. That's my second, yeah.
Move and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 30, discuss and take action on the award of C2360-24-002, clearing of right of way and build fence on Mathis Dairy Road for an amount of $15 per foot.
Nobody else would bid on it, sure.
Right. We got one bid.
At a fair price, Brandon? I hadn't looked at the job, so I'm taking your word.
Got its challenges, let's just put it like that. It's 3,000 foot as well. So, yeah, my motion's gonna be to approve this.
I'll second it.
Move and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. 31, discuss and take action on hiring a temporary employee for the county clerk's office to be paid from county clerk record management fund.
I had from last week discussion to discuss the part-time position. Where I'm now asking for it to be a temporary position to be filled by and paid by the part-time position that I have in my records management account. And it's for the purpose of preservation to finish up on the reading the indexing. And if approved, I will have it posted this afternoon.
Okay.
This gets us all around all the hurdles.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
So,
Move and second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 32, discuss and take action on the designation of representatives and alternatives from Houston Galveston Area Council, 2025 General Assembly Board of Directors. We leaving Brandon as primary?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you who's not driving to Houston if y'all want to know.
I kind of felt this was coming and that's, I'm not gonna nominate.
Do we want to just leave it same as last year?
I'm fine for the alternate.
What did we have last year?
I think we had Brandon, Bill, and then y'all were somewhere in the
As long
alternates.
as we were at the very bottom.
Yeah,
We're good.
put us on the bottom, Bob.
Yeah.
I move to approve the list we had last year, Brandon, Bill, and then us on the bottom.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 33, discuss and take action on Sevens Vine Grant renewal for fiscal year 2024-2025. That's my motion.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 34, discuss and take action to approve funding agreement with Safe House for fiscal year 2024-25. That's my motion.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand.
I'll be present, not voting.
Motion carries. 35, discuss and take action to approve funding agreement with a Time to Read for fiscal year 2024-25. That's my motion.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 36, discuss and take action on update quote from Barron Construction or Barone Construction for courthouse concrete project. 36.
Yeah, that's the one that was 28.5. We went up to 33, right, Ms. Cheryl?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. My question is, I mean, I know this has been a mess, the whole clean up. So what are we doing in the future so this don't happen again?
Definitely, since definitely talk to them, personally and make sure that it doesn't happen again. I do have a question though, because I'm not quite sure why he went up, 30 to 30, that was an increase of $4,500. I'm not quite sure why he went up. I think he had told you something about concrete or supplies had increased.
Pumper trucks, something to that effect.
Okay, because that wasn't included in his bid in the beginning. So I would suggest that you rebid that, because that was not included in his first bid. So
What was not included?
the rental of the pump trucks.
Was it in the specs?
But it doesn't matter one way or the other. on
Yeah,
that.
you still
That's-
got to have it.
You got to pump it up there regardless whether or not he had it in there or not.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether to.
I think it's less than.
Well-
50.
Yeah, I think, it's been such a wreck. I think we just need to move on with it, but I do too.
Me too.
I think.
So the cost of
I'd-
the concrete.
I'd rebid it.
Truck.
The cost of the concrete has gone down since March. I checked the pricing. It was $141 per yard and now it's $138. So I know the concrete has not increased any. Again, I feel like he missed quoting the pumper truck. Because if you look at the rental, it's about how much it was $4,500.
How much
Yeah.
was the alternate bid? We had second bidder on
I
that?
don't think we had.
We didn't have an alternate.
Yeah.
Oh, we had,
Well, I mean,
I thought we had a second bidder.
Fence had an alternate. We got-
all this got started because they got a PO prior to coming to court. So the reality of it is we got a mess. I mean, it's just a mess.
I'm sorry. We had chosen to split award
Right.
because of the cost. Barron's railing was $5,400 versus 39.
Yeah.
And so we had split award. And then the commissioner's court come back and decided that we needed to run it by an engineer. And so it took time for the engineer to get back with us to agree with the split award and what was going on and how the railing was going to be installed as well as the concrete. And then by the time we went back, he had increased his bid $4,500.
But we didn't have a second bid on concrete.
Okay.
No.
we didn't.
Let me look.
I don't know why we'd get a second bid on this go round, other than a higher price, because we're pushing another couple months.
It's less than $50,000. We can do it. I'll make the motion to approve agenda item number 36 as presented.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be present, not voting on this one because I did talk with him a little bit. More than I probably should have.
And a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, wait a minute, we had one not voting.
One no.
3-4. One against. 37, discuss and take action on a letter from Hardship them to amend current agreement.
Judge, I've read through this and all the email train that went along with federal people when they was out there. And I don't see any way I can kind of go along with this. I don't know whether we need to go back and do something different with them or whatever, but I don't agree with anything I'm reading. So that's just kind of where I stand today.
So we started out letting parts take claim to the museum part on declaring who owns what. So that's where this started. And then we got all this.
Can we
But-
approach so we can?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Morning, Keith.
Hey.
Sarah.
Yeah, I'll state your name for the minutes, please.
Tara Burnett, Executive Director, Harts Veterans Museum.
Kenneth Lee, president.
Okay, so to begin with, we didn't anticipate coming before Commissioners Court this quickly. We had a meeting with OEM, the judge. We were discussing the issues we've had in the past about who actually owns the building, what we're responsible for, what, everything that's been going back and forth for years since all of the original things took place many years ago. So we had talked about, putting the museum, if it's going to be our responsibility, then we would like to have the building in our name. And, that way we could get the proper insurance, we could do everything we needed to do. We would know we were responsible for all the maintenance and upkeep, and there wouldn't be any question about going back and forth between the county and the museum. But then, so we all discussed that, and then Colt had said, Judge Christian had said, when we wanted to do something on the land out there, then we needed to bring it to Commissioners Court and say, we want to put another vehicle out here, or we want to put a concrete pad out here, or we want to do this out here. And so we never really came to agreement on that or anything. We just said, well, we're going to talk about it. He said, well, will you compile a list of what y'all would like them to see happen, and then get that over to me. So we did. And after we sat down and talked about it, it actually made more sense for the museum to have our building and the land around it, with the county retaining the shelter and an easement and the use of the parking lots and sidewalks and things like that. It would keep us from having to come to Commissioners Court every single time we wanted to do something. And in all honesty, when something goes crazy over there, we're the ones taking care of it. When the inmates go on lockdown and they can't mow and weed eat, it's all of my volunteers and me out there weed eating and cutting down shrubs and pulling weeds and taking care of everything. Plus, we already have the agreement with State University to utilize the 7 acres behind the museum. That's an agreement between the museum and Sam Houston State. So it makes more logical sense, since all of everything surrounding the storm shelter is museum related, for us to get that land back in our name and our building in our name. And that's why we were common sense trying to put this together. And we thought we would have a workshop where we could all kind of sit down and talk about how it all takes place, because we know we're going to have to talk about insurance. We're going to have to talk about, changing the deeds and everything else back over. It's going to take legal. We didn't think we'd be standing up here hashing it out in Commissioners Court.
Because, the meeting we had, we talked about it, Butch and I talked about it, and I thought everybody was in pretty much agreement about what we wanted to do. And just, we were trying to work this out to make sure that it was all taken care of for the county and for the museum. So I don't know what questions
anybody would have about what we're trying to do.
Well, I know today I'm against what y'all got on that paper. That's where I'm at today.
Could I ask you why?
Well, I don't think you want to ask right now.
Mhm.
It'd be
Well,
best
I
if we
just-
probably go to a committee or something to discuss it with further where we can sit down one-on-one.
Well, and
But-
that's what we wanted,
Right.
was a workshop type situation.
But I want to point out one thing. Y'all blame a lot on Butch. Butch is doing what this court tells him to do.
Okay,
I've read these emails. You don't have to tell me. I've read every email that you wrote there.
Yes,
Butch and I talked
Yeah.
about this, and I can't control anything that happened in the past. Butch and I agree on that. You know, from the day it started, we weren't involved in it. Only thing we can do is make sure that what happens from this point on is done to benefit both of us, and I think we agreed on that, didn't we? And, you know, so what happened in the past, I can't answer for.
there was a lot of handshake deals, a lot of good faith things made back. We just want something in black and white.
Yeah,
This
but
is what-
this letter's not in the past. You're wanting us to move the voting and you want to give y'all basically authority over the parking lots and.
Oh, no, sir, there's an agreement, okay, that's in place already, that the parking lots, the sidewalks are all mutual use. They're all mutual use. And there's an easement clause for us to our building, which makes no sense because we don't own the building. The county, if you look at it, there's one address there, 455 State Highway 75 North. If you look up anything, that's what it is. 463 State Highway North is a 911 address for the museum. That's all it is. Everything is in the county's name. We have an agreement with, the Harts Veterans Museum has an agreement with St. Houston State University, utilize 7 acres kind of where the property line stops with the county. And we utilize that land. That's where we put the Vietnam Wall Memorial and things such as that. That's where we put the digital sign down by the road with the helicopter on it. That was all done because we have an agreement with St. Houston State on that land. But what we're trying to simplify is all of this handshake agreement things that have been happening all these years where somebody gets over here and says, well, this air conditioner's broke. Well, we don't own it, so why are we fixing it? We got to go to Commissioner's Court and ask. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you go back to the original House bill, that land, the whole reason why it was given to the museum, all of this other back and forth nonsense makes no sense. No common sense whatsoever. And that's why we're trying to simplify it. And that's all we're asking for. But we thought that when I was asked to make a list of what we'd like to see, I thought it was so we could sit down in a workshop and y'all say, okay, Tara, we don't see where this makes sense. Explain what you're talking about.
When-
Or we can't be
Hold
okay.
on.
I just want to interject there. I understand what she's saying, but just so you understand, you can't talk to them as a group outside of this meeting. So this is your workshop opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, same
That's
kind of.
what it is.
It'd be a workshop at the end of the court, basically, instead of just an agenda item.
Or two of us
Yeah, or two of us could be,
could sit and visit with. I mean, there's,
Right.
to me, there's a couple of things that I don't know enough about. Number one, bullet point, I would have to do some research on that. I think number three, for sure, I would scratch that out completely because our voting is just too successful up at the shelter up yonder. There's no way it can move back. And
I think the voting at the shelter is great.
it's perfect.
We're sending however many thousands of people right by your door for the museum.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand
Open the
that.
door up and say, hey, if you've got a voting sticker, come in here and take a tour. We got a donation box.
I understand.
I mean, that's
We
funneling
explained-
10,000 people in there.
Well, we explained to you the issue that we were having with that.
Yeah.
You know, and even you agreed that we were gonna try to come up with a solution on that. You know,
That-
as far as
Because we talked,
setting off the alarms, because they come into the museum thinking they're voting in the museum.
Right.
Even though we have signage saying you're voting over here. All day long, they're coming in the museum.
We have that everywhere. They try to go out every door but the exit at the courthouse all day long. Arms go off. That's people. That's human nature. So.
Yeah. So that one there, that's every now and then we mess around, do something right here and putting the voting at the storm shelter is right. I mean, that is like a well-oiled machine now. I've not got a single complaint from anybody that votes out there. So that's a non-starter for me, but and as far as scheduling, as far as I'm concerned, we have a calendar. If you get on the calendar, if y'all block out dates, but we always have the right to say, you know what, a hurricane came through, we gotta have the building, everybody's
I
out.
don't think that's ever been a question.
Well, it happened,
Originally.
It happened this year.
it happened this time when y'all had some sort of a statewide American Legion thing or something, and then we set FEMA up and y'all said it's not fair, that they don't get to stay here.
Well,
So there's no well on that one. We have the authority, if it's an emergency situation, cancel everything. So I think 99 times out of 100, it goes well, but every now and then things come up. So as far as I'm concerned, the calendar is the calendar. If y'all sit down January 1 and block out all your dates, those dates can't be leased out to anybody else. It's just, you're there first.
that's always been what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So that's to me, I like the idea, Judge, of having them sit down with a couple. Or definitely I need some more time for number one to find out what all that is, because I'd have to go back through the history of it. I mean, I remember when it came here, but I was on the city side back then, so I don't remember how it affected the county, what happened here. So,
Because a lot of it's never been clear.
well, it needs to be clear. I agree with 100% on
Yeah.
that. Absolutely where it needs to be. You should be able to look on a piece of paper and find out what is what.
Yes.
I 100% agree with that.
Right, and that's what we want.
Okay, and if this is your shopping list, then we should be able to sit down with y'all and say yes, no, or
Yes.
somewhere in between.
Yes,
And-
that's what.
And that's
we've asked
what
for.
we would like to do.
But also the backup from the get-go. I mean, I know you kept all that stuff. You've done a lot of research on it from the beginning to the end so that we fully understand every
Yes.
bit of it.
And I went upstairs on the 4th floor and pulled all those old documents. I got them in a folder for us.
Yes. Yeah,
Or
we have-
whoever.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Sherry did a lot of work.
Contract in years, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is verbal.
Yeah.
You know, you go back to the beginning, that we were gonna do a conference center, famous at Bedford. I don't think anybody ever drew up any paperwork stating that was gonna happen, and it said that other than being in the storm shelter in case of emergency, then the museum would control it. Well, it's gone back and forth, and we're just trying to figure out.
So would y'all prefer to come, I mean, if you have a workshop at the court, this is gonna be it?
Yes.
Or would y'all prefer to meet with a couple of people from the court? You can only have two, and kind of go through it before you come back and do that, if you
Well,
want.
that's what we would like to do, yes.
Right.
And that's what we thought when we put this
Okay.
together, is that we would,
Well, we still gotta get court's opinion, so the
Yes,
committee
yes.
has some guidance. It's,
yes, we understand that completely.
so,
We just.
we gotta have a starting point for the committee to get going on how we all feel and what needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And I think that, my opinion, Butch should be involved in it because, so much stuff is done through his office.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
You wanna serve on that
take
committee?
action.
Suits me.
Brandon? Ronnie and Brandon have fun. Maybe Quentin or somebody from DA's office to start reviewing some documents. Quentin? Well, add to. Okay. Yeah. All right, we'll go. Is that supposed to be a promotion?
We don't really need a
No, we
motion.
don't. We're gonna pass on the item and it'll be the committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they'll get with you.
Email to have a.
Is that okay with you to be on it?
If they want me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be with us, Butch.
So. All right, 30, thank
Thank
you.
y'all, appreciate it.
38, discuss take action on implementing a burn ban.
Judge, actually, this to be put on the agenda just because usually about the middle of October, we got some rain on the ground and we don't have to talk about it. This year has been different. I asked Butch to do some research over the weekend and he got what he came up with today. So let me turn it over.
Mr. Doggett asked me to first, to keep the firearm drought index total for the day. That one is 480, and this is a 0 to 800 index. It's 800's the top, 0's the bottom. And, the minimum today is 480. The max is 706 with an average of 627.
I know where the 706 is at.
I didn't do he asked me, told me,
Any south.
fire departments I did. I talked with the chief in all these departments. We really wanted to, they voted no for today. They wanted to wait 2 weeks and, see what happened. Huntsville voted yes. Riverside voted yes. Trash Ferry voted yes. Dodge voted yes. I talked with the Texas A&M Forest Service and they said due to the weather change this week, low humidity, possibility of some fires that could get out of control and be hard to contain. They've already started moving air assets closer to Walker County. And so, normally we put a burn ban on when the average is at 575. So we're well over that.
Well, in most of the counties around us, to the north and the west of us, we already put them on.
Yes, if you look at the map, there's most of the counties around us have a burn ban on right now.
But after being out this weekend in the north and the west end, I'll make that motion to approve that burn ban.
I'll second it.
I think the most important thing is to educate people not to burn.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
and if
Well,
we do
as
put a
much
burn
rain-
ban, write them a ticket when they do burn.
absolutely.
As much
So,
rain as we
you
get
know.
and the standing grass, and we get a dry northern coming next day, so.
I mean, there's no reason to put a burn ban on if we're not gonna enforce it and give some tickets and save some people some time, so. We got a motion,
If we have another 2011.
we got a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Joe, state what time it goes into effect.
Noon.
Noon.
Noon today.
Hey,
Hurry up.
Hurry up, you got 2 hours. So, all in, motion passes. All right, thank you. 39, public hearing concerning plat number 2024-028, replat of lot 25 of the Oak Creek subdivision. Time is 10:04. Anyone here to speak upon that?
This is the one on Coon Trail, right? Ken?
Yes, sir.
I guess I should say 3179. Some of
Yeah, I
them-
wouldn't know where it was at.
Yeah, I had to always think when somebody uses the numbers.
Big tracks. Here, with wide track in the middle and 2 standard tracks on each side. The only thing that, and we can get to this in the action, but the only thing that we have as a contingency or condition is there is a on-site wastewater system that was originally installed to serve a home here in the center of the track. So that, the tanks are represented right here.
Only
That would have to be up, that permit is dated so that the whole system was on one of the lots.
Yeah, I thought I saw the spray heads in that other lot.
Right. So that's something that we have. Was our, whoever's gonna make the motion. Those.
It ain't me.
That's right.
Not yet.
Send it on.
We got anything else on public hearing? All right, we're gonna close public hearing at 10:05. We go to 40, discuss and take action on plat number 2024-028, replat of lot 25 of the Oak Creek subdivision.
Are we on number 40?
Yes, sir.
This is the motion right here. Motion to approve with the contingency.
For contingency for the.
All right, my motion is to approve contingent upon OSSF being re-permitted to meet Walker County TCEQ guidelines. No additional development to occur prior to OSSF being brought into compliance with TCEQ TAC 285.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand.
So that across
Wrong hand.
all 3 lots, I mean, that's.
He knew I couldn't remember it.
Okay, for any new development. A lot of the plat we filed, but prior to any new development, that can.
41, discuss and take action on Lane High Tower request for variance to on-site sewage facility regulations of Walker County for Lot 2 of a Banyan subdivision.
As you.
That is me. I haven't seen this one yet, though.
Somebody there.
Will state your name for Mr. Prince, please.
Ginger Lane.
So the variance request, sorry,
You're fine.
I'm just gonna get you started here.
Thanks.
So the variance request is that there is a piece of property. There's an RV that's present, there's an existing permitted system on part of the lot. That's hooked up as well. There was a cabin there. We small, a long time ago.
No, this is for a trailer.
Yeah, you're putting an RV.
Yeah, I am. The cabin is on the other acre.
On the other acre.
Yeah, it's already, there's a permit and stuff already for that one. This is the one we can't find a permit for. We can't, it's been there forever.
If you'll scroll down real quick.
That's it. No, go up. Up.
There.
That's the cabin.
It's there.
That
being
is
served.
permitted.
Permit.
Yes, that one has a permit on it. We can find that.
That one we could find placed in the 85 original.
Yes,
So there's another septic system that you
on the other side
discovered on the property.
where the trailer was. If you'll go back up, ma'am. It's actually, it was two separate properties and Mr. Rogers bought them and they're one, he put the fence down. So this trailer is no longer there. It was falling apart. We removed it. We've brought in a fifth one. We hooked up to the septic system that was there. The trailer is a 1985 or was, I should say, model.
Okay.
So I don't know if this was all done by Mr. Rogers way back then. But we did have it inspected, a gentleman, John, don't ask me.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. I know.
I don't ask.
Just John.
Just John. He came out and inspected it and everything for us, and he's also on it, so. That trailer was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We now have a fifth wheel that is 1-bedroom, 1-bath. So he said it's plenty big for what we have there.
Yeah. So the cabin that you saw is on the same property. That's with the permitted system. This structure here was originally shown as in 82 and an 86 is the two stamps in the tax records. This is a green card from the tax records.
Yeah.
So those were both after Walker County started their on-site sewage permitting. I have no permanent record on it.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to offer the court to say, hey, I've got a permanent record showing that this was permitted. She had it inspected, a visual above ground inspection. This was not a formal, like what we would normally do inspection, but she did have a sanitarian come out, do a visual above ground looking for failures or any issues, function system. It's attested to in the packet in front of you. Am I going to sit here in front of you and say that with absolute certainty, there was no interaction with the county in 1985? That,
Right.
My record set the farther back I received scans. So this would have been in the first 5 years of one time. All we can really offer. And it's not on a tract that's larger than 10 acres. So we did one where we exempted it because it was over 10 acres. The only thing that I could say is that the court found that there was essentially it was run through the county, but I don't have any records showing that.
And there's a working system according to John.
He's still got his, we still have his flags out there and everything too, so.
What about it, Bill?
And you understand that if it fails, then it has to be brought.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was gonna go with it. And I think I mentioned this before in the past, especially on these older ones. We had a sign off, somebody looking at it, really with nobody living in it. So if, I'll throw this out there as a motion, see what y'all say. I'll make the motion to approve the variance request with the condition of a follow-up inspection between 9 and 12 months by a sanitarian.
So like Johnny again?
Yeah, right. Come back and do another on site. And then I put a tickler on you guys sometime between 9 and 12 months that you guys make the call randomly. And then that's my motion.
How many, with a follow-up inspection within 9 months or at 9 months?
Between 9 and 12
Between 9 and
months.
12.
That's at the county's discretion between 9 and 12 months. That's
Add that to your list of things to do, Andy.
We can do that. I can add that to.
we know it works right now because there's nothing going in it.
Yeah.
All right, I got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Brandon. Motion carries.
Thank you.
42, discuss and take action on New Waverly Development LLC request for variance to section B 2.2, the Walker County subdivision regulations regarding lot depth to width ratio for Waverly Place, section 3.
So this is a application. We know. Application for variance to depth to width ratio on lots within the section 3. Maybe place. You guys have looked at this before, but didn't necessarily have all the detailed data, and so they put together a formal presentation. They have now taken possession and are presenting this to you back again with the numbers in the backup and so on and so forth. And so I'll turn this over to them. The essential application is we have a 1-to-3 depth to width, 1-to-3 width to depth ratio in our code. There are some of the lots approximately 26%, somewhere 27%, somewhere in there, that are slightly outside of that. But I'll let them, I think they're prepared a presentation to kind of explain what they're doing and why. Great. Tell me your name, please.
Marjorie Cox.
Vance Bridges.
So we were here in June and met with you all as an introduction and a handoff from Mr. Hassel, the prior developer, and I know your meeting's gone long so far, so we'll try to be quick and leave it up to you all to ask questions. But we were able to successfully work forward with Mr. Hassel and close on the property and have our builder in place, Canadian, to be able to replicate the same sort of development as section 1, but important and same will build the same quality of homes. Want to be able to have lot sizes or subdivision throughout section 3 and then section 2 on the frontage. So a couple of things that we added on as we went through the negotiations was to be able to take over a punch list in section 1, so to be able to complete the repairs that kind of dragged on a bit, and then we acquired that frontage to be able to have a second access entrance to the subdivision. We were able to execute on that. And we're ready to start on our repairs. That in the next few months to completion, approval through an inspection. So part of taking over the plans for Mr. Hassel included kind of picking up which included a preliminary plat. It's not gone through a formal plat approval. I think they had requested a variance of the lot with depth ratio before, but there was some concerns about the overall plan and that, and so that was rejected at the time. We thought we would take an opportunity to bring that back to you and get some feedback from the planning department and the commissioners on kind of what you would like to see there. So we've got initially there were in section 1, 141 lots that had a lot, an average width depth ratio of 2.96, an average lot size of 45,243 square feet. So there are about 84 lots that kind of exceeded that 3-to-1 ratio. Section 3 is a smaller section, and we're in the preliminary land plan phase right now. And the way it's been drawn out or platted is with a width depth ratio of 2.64, so a little bit smaller outside of that, and then average lot size of 47,000, so a little bit larger lots for the two consumers. And we leave that 3-to-1 ratio. Would there'd be some benefit for the septic tanks there and the spray fields. We also have a drainage channel in there, so we can shift some lot lines as we need to try to fit within that ratio. And so if you all have some input or feedback on how we could proceed, appreciate that. Yes.
So my comments, what we were talking about before court, look at the section 3, just said right. It was section 3, but it was, block number 5. You know, there's a whole lot of that that's old. Can you go down to there? Can you make that one bigger? Yeah. No.
So I think what you're pointing.
Which one down?
I think that block 5 is along, the ones here along the back.
It's block 5 is what
Right.
y'all named it, yeah. There's a lot in there that are over, our regulation. We need to adjust that or look at it. I mean, when you start looking at, I believe it's block 2. It's in the curve and it's around that creek and, you know, I can understand that. I get it and I want to work with you. Block 3 had,
They had one, that was a little bit more
it
depth.
had 3. Block 3 had, lots 1, 2, 3, which again, creek and all that. We really need to focus on, it's just my opinion, of course, I'm on a 5. We really need to focus on getting those within our specs. You know, the goal needs to be to get in respect. And then we make the variances for the stuff that will fit. And just, it makes sense. That's my opinion.
I'll mention this, so the backup thing that you guys have talking about average. It's funny that there's a few lots like here appear to be criteria, but the outside one of them. Mainly those lots you're talking about clear to the curve. The straight back lots, the frontage and the average width are gonna be the same. But on some of them, and say 175 feet, that may not reflect that the frontage is much less than that. Does that make sense? So our code is based on frontage and depth, not necessarily average width and depth. Some of the ratios are based on average width and depth, ours is based on frontage and depth. So there might be in the variance, some additional lots that, while their average width and depth meet the 1 to 3, their frontage and depth don't. That would be included in a variance if it's granted. I just want to make that clear, so going forward, we'll so like an example would be, look at block 2, lot 3.
Block 5 is the
If you look at block 2, lot 3, that would be a good example.
Right, that's.
Its average width is.
and they're not that far.
It's gonna be hard to tell you on that. Block 5,
It's around
are they like 3 point, is what they were talking about, like 3.1, 3.2?
3.1.
And that's what my concern, but we regularly give variances to like 4. I mean, we don't even bat an eye at 4 when it comes up. Yeah, 4 to 1 is, that's like saying, we talk about when we do things, you know, that it does set standards for the future, so.
Yeah, but my point, my question of that is that the variance is to up to left to depth loss show not to exceed 4.1. So,
right.
I mean, if just these guys in front of us, I don't want to give all the developers, well, we're just gonna across the board say 4 to 1's okay. We can do that. We might as well change our policy.
I agree. I think we need to change the policy, but I can almost guarantee you, we have never turned down a less than 4 to 1 variance. I almost guarantee we never have.
And specifically, we're trying to lock it down to a number of lots that we would exceed. Not just a carte blanche across the board. Do you guys have a number of lots in mind that work? Is it the 34 that you mentioned earlier?
Well, if we say 4 to 1, it doesn't matter how much.
No, that's true. If you do a carte blanche.
What we don't ever waver on a variance is that lot. We stick with that. We say we don't variance on that, but that depth, I could not tell you that we have ever voted down anything less than 4 to 1.
Well, and also something we need to remember, I don't remember how this went. I mean, Jimmy started this and I know, pre you and Hassel come in and asked for a lot of variances and
yeah.
I don't remember how everybody voted, but apparently he got it through. And I think y'all, and not saying I'm for or against this, don't get me wrong. We'll figure it out, but I think y'all compared to what Hassel done and trying to keep the consistency of the development the same, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, Brent, something we may need to, they just have to stomach, I guess.
But it goes back to my original. You know. I get all the crooks and curves, but in the one area. We take out one lot and get them all. And
Yeah, no, no, I'm not saying that's not possible. I mean,
I also agree with y'all, 4-1, you know, maybe that makes more sense moving that in the future. And the fact that we're, you know, we're way over, not way over, but we're bigger on the lot frontages. I'm excited. I want to help them get going here, but
yeah,
to me, if we can fix that one, then everything else is so close that I'd be okay with it, but.
and which one was it on block 5, you said?
Maybe if we lost a lot along this section, I think then that whole section, or at least
That's
3/4 of them don't all fall under.
That's what I'm getting
It's
at.
all like 3.125, like.
Yeah, 3.1, it's not like 3.9 even, it's 3.1. I got no troubles with it like it is, being it has the width on the front, I'm cool with that, and I just voted yes on too many variances, up to 4, to vote no, because that's a problem.
Things in their range out in the right. The urban gutter section with 1 acre, I think, minimum lot size, 1 acre plus. And it's gonna have on-site wastewater, and one of the things they put in is that help them with the on-site wastewater, pushing it forward here. Just wanted to have it on your radar, in case you didn't see that yet.
Yeah.
And the water will be turned in same mud district, I guess. Oh, what did y'all have out there? Go ahead.
Sorry,
No, for that, for the water.
Potable water.
CNR waters. Yeah. CNR waters doing section 1 and.
Okay.
Or section.
What about it, Randy? You can do
I
it.
really would like to be on block 5 again.
Okay. We can widen that right away just a little bit and then create or reduce that here.
Yeah, Joe.
I'm Joe Sherwin. I'm not the engineer of record for the plans. Engineer.
Speak up, Joe, please.
Sorry, engineer 2B for section 2. We're gonna be doing the inspections on 3 on that particular block. There's really 2 things, man. We can look at, we can either look at tightening those, making them compliant for that. One, what we might end up doing is then restricting getting just under an acre per lot based on shortening those steps. So we'll then have to come back for a variance to the OSSF. But we could, so we could widen that because I know the right of way is always an issue, at least the width of the right of way, which we exceeded what we were asking for prior. So that on-street parking isn't an issue. But if we tighten those lots up too much, we may run the risk of getting under an acre. So we can look at that again, but we can also look at maybe losing a lot somewhere, adding an easement somewhere. But what we're not trying to do is force. We want this to be where everybody's happy with it. And so if you want us to, even if the court looks at saying we all agree except for Randall, we're still going to try to make sure that everybody, especially protected, is happy with this. So regardless of y'all's decision, and try to make it work to the best of our ability based on what y'all decide, but also the direction that you.
Okay. Where are we going, Brandon? Let me pass this down to you.
I do want y'all to we can bring it back, but
Well, how many times have y'all been up here? I mean, I hate to see y'all keep going back and forth. What are you, Where are you trying to go?
Andy, do we have any opinion from?
No, not on this, because it was just standard, it was administrative standards based. So it's based on the your actual performance in accordance with the standard. Yeah, so that's the on the agenda today for the grant frontage in relation to the lots. Although I will say that, you know, it could be, frontage could be impacted by the strict 1-to-3 is, like he said, we only have a few options to increase their depth to width ratio. One would be to remove a lot or narrow an existing lot and spread it out. So that they, or to reduce the depth of the lot so that they can. So one could create additional frontage. That would be something that we might look at in consideration, but the depth to width that we're dealing with right now, we don't have a recommendation specifically from an engineer. I could take one if you guys want to have it.
It doesn't make tell us. It's 3 to 1 or it's not. I'll say this, this is not the last depth to width variance request we're gonna get. We hold these to it and forward, everybody else has to be a no. We have to tell them, sorry, go back. Otherwise, these folks need to come back and say, wait, told us no. Everybody else gets a yes. It's very important. So like I said, we've done
Well,
100.
that and you're talking about shrinking the lot sizes, you know, I don't think.
It's only 3.1.
No, definitely would be
I
for
mean,
that.
that's something to consider, Brandon. I
I'd
guess.
rather have this variance than a smaller lot.
And the only one we're asking on is whatever you call it, 5 to look at it. So my motion will be approved variance requests to up to 4.1 with strong recommendation to relook at number 5.
Is there a number of lots or just a?
They're at they're asking for across the board 4.1.
Yeah, another for that.
Is that the depth?
4 to 1.
Yes.
4 to 1. No,
4.1, excuse me.
yeah, 4 to 1.
They're asking across the board 4.1. That's why I just made my motion.
All right, so you're saying approve the motion to
You
go
can't-
4 to 1,
Can't put
Yep.
strongly in.
but tell them to go back and look at it. So where they're gonna look at it, if they got a plan at 3.1.
You hear it.
So it's either
They
yes
heard
or
it.
no on
You
that.
can't just put strongly recommend.
No, the motion
Y'all
is
understand?
to approve depth, width to depth lot ratio not to exceed 4.1. That's the motion.
All right.
Strongly encouraged to look at.
I'll second that motion.
Moving second.
No grant to minimum frontage.
Hmm,
Nothing about minimum frontage requirement, though. It's still.
That's not, they didn't ask for any of that.
That's not the request.
You got it.
We're still at the 4, at the, right at an acre lot. I'm still
Yeah.
happy with the
Yeah,
subject.
you did say, yeah.
All right, I got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Bill did.
Thank you.
Motion
Okay.
carries. Thank you. All right, I don't have anything else for executive. Anybody? Public comment?
I had some public comment, but I forgot.
That's always good.
That's at all times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Questions from the media,
Media.
commissioners court? All right, court is adjourned at 10:29.
Man, I had something I wanted